Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Black Parents Aging. You are in for a treat today because I have a very special guest, Duane Hamilton, who is the owner of Hamilton Insurance Group here in Atlanta. And he is going to talk to us today about all things insurance. And we're going to jump right in. But before I start drilling you with all sorts of insurance questions, take a minute and just tell us kind of who you are, what is your background, and how you got to the world of insurance.
Wow. That's really interesting because if you talk to most people in the insurance business, their dream was not to be in the insurance business. It's just something that kind of found them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Atlanta native, graduate of Morehouse College. I have been in the insurance business, well, my license says since 2009,
Okay.
but I had a different type of license, a sub-agent's license, probably since 2006. So I'm licensed to assist my clients with everything under the insurance umbrella: auto, homeowners, renters, life insurance, Medicare, Obamacare, dental, vision, disability, long-term care,
All the things.
retirement planning. Anything that a person could need as when it comes to insurance, I can assist them with. Um, I have things that I specialize in, things that we're very good at, and then things I might refer to someone else who depending on the type of case it is, if it's not just a cookie cutter or vanilla type case, I have other associates I can bring in to assist with those.
So I'm definitely going to get to who your ideal client is, what sorts of insurance you like versus ones you could do without. But since most people in insurance did not start out wanting to be in insurance, how did you make your way to insurance?
Well, 2008, the real estate debacle, the financial meltdown.
Okay.
2008, my dad owned a mortgage company, Nations Funding Group. The plan was for me to take over the business. Then 2008 happened. You could not originate a loan. Just wasn't happening. The spigot was turned off. The funds were no longer flowing. People were finding out in closing that their loan company had gone belly up, and
Yeah.
it was just
That was a scary time for sure.
at that point I had two children and they like to eat 3 times a day.
Understood.
And I made a decision to get out of a cyclical industry and get in something that was going to be there, whether there was a recession, a boom, or no matter what the economy was doing. I realized that people always need insurance. So, to be more specific, this is what happened. When I was a loan officer, one of my friends from Morehouse asked me, he said, Duane, like when you refinance a house or when you help someone buy a house, uh, how do you get the homeowner's quote? I said, just Google it. But actually, I think at that point I was still opening the phone book. Um, just open
You're
the phone
dating
book.
yourself.
I am. But that gives me wisdom. Um, so I would open the phone book, call somebody, get the quote. And he said, Duane, I'm in the insurance business. How about you let us quote the homeowner's insurance for your clients? And if we can beat whatever somebody else has, you think you can swing us the business? I said, absolutely. He said, and what we're going to do is we're going to get you licensed. That was a sub-agent's license. And when 2008 happened and no more loan closing checks were coming in, I kept getting these small checks from
Ah,
policies that I helped place. And I said, bing, 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 bing. We're going to do insurance because, like I said earlier, my children like to eat at least 3 times a day, every day.
I'm sure
And
you like to eat too.
yeah, but I was really focused on them. If they eat, I clean up the plate.
Whatever's left.
Whatever's left, I'm gonna get that too. So I was gonna be fine as long as they were good. And so I looked for some opportunities in the insurance business. Started off in life insurance. Um, that was interesting because the organization I started off with, great training, not the best opportunity.
Mm.
Um, the universe is very interesting because the day I decided I didn't want to be a manager any longer with that organization, I packed up all my files from the office, put it in the car. Car got stolen that day.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, car got stolen that day with everything in it. My
oh,
calendar for the rest of the month. I just did. I wasn't digital at that point, so literally, I didn't have anything. Um, and I made a decision. I said, if I'm going to start over, I'm not going to do it their way. I'm going to do it my way. And that's how Hamilton Insurance Group was started.
I love that. So, okay, so now we're at Hamilton Insurance Group,
Mhm.
and you just said that you do everything from pet insurance to like life insurance and everything in between. Who is your ideal client? And which type of insurance do you enjoy working with and um, providing policies for clients for? What is your sweet spot?
So I like to work with mature individuals, 40 plus. In my opinion, the older the better. The, the older we get, the wiser we get. And we start to realize, you know what? I need insurance.
Yes.
If it's not for this, then how am I going to pay for my health care? What am I going to do if this happens? So I look for people who know they need help with insurance. Mature people who know they need help with insurance. Those are my ideal clients.
And do most of your clients come to you not having insurance at all or looking for better rates or feeling that they're underinsured?
So that's a conversation I have. Uh,
Okay.
and let me answer the other question you asked, which is what do I really enjoy in
Yes.
the insurance business? I really enjoy helping people with health insurance.
And we're gonna circle back around to that because when we talked, I
Yes.
said I have to get you on the podcast when you started talking about Medicare, because that is something that I have been trying to help my parents deal with and asking them questions about. So we're definitely gonna circle back around to that. So healthcare is your sweet spot.
Yes. The number one reason for bankruptcy in the United States is medical bills.
Yeah, that makes sense because
Okay. And
healthcare is through the roof.
it is through the roof. A simple surgery can cost $100,000, which could mean a lot of out-of-pocket costs, for the patient. Not just the surgery, but the physical therapy, the materials needed to change bandages and wound care, transportation. It starts to really add up. And the older I get, and
Mm-hmm.
situations that I go through, it just was really like ding, 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 ding. Like we need somebody to help people with health insurance because there is a lack of understanding. So for most people, this is how it works. You're on your job, if
Mm-hmm.
you have open enrollment, you have a select bucket of plans that you can choose from.
Right.
And everybody is talking about it in the cafeteria, at the water cooler. So you kind of get some guidance. Well, when you turn 65, there is no education about Medicare.
Yes.
There are no more water coolers, and a lot of people are talking. A lot of people don't know nothing,
Yeah.
and they are just spreading misinformation. Not to mention the way that the insurance companies, the distribution channels, the way that is set up now with call centers and people calling from Timbuktu, calling people in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really know the nuances of the plans here. And people get in the wrong plans. People don't want to take the time to really get people the assistance that they need. Um, I just found a real need for it, not to mention, uh, I used to really, really sell a lot of life insurance. And the interesting thing about life insurance is people I know, my friends will tell me they needed it, and then they would run from me.
Yes. Yes.
They were just, I mean,
I'm familiar with that.
Dwayne, can you call me on Tuesday? or better yet, they would ask me to call on the weekend, which is something I didn't really want to do. But I would call on the weekend and I would get
And
sent a voicemail.
they wouldn't answer.
I'm like, hold up, what is going on here? You asked me to call you. And then I would follow up, and I just realized that most mature people,
Yes.
they understand the need for health insurance, and it might not be that they understand the product or their options, but they just know they need it, and they're
They
looking
need
for
it.
somebody who can guide them, who they can trust.
So for sure, our clients are the same people. You keep
Mhm,
calling them mature seniors.
mhm,
Ours are a little older. We start a little older than where you start. We started around 60, but yes. And sometimes we get clients in asking us about Medicare and we know nothing about it, or just insurance in
mhm,
general.
mhm,
Sometimes clients come in and we're asking about long-term care insurance or
mhm.
maybe life insurance and that sort of thing. But let's talk about Medicare because as a child, a daughter of
Mhm,
aging parents, my parents are in their early 70s,
mhm,
them kind of navigating Medicare and then dental and getting a plan and maybe it's not doing what it needs to, or the prescriptions aren't being paid, or they thought they were covered for a certain dental or vision and it's not working out. Talk a little bit about that and then transition, because what the reason that I was like, you have to get on the podcast was because you said there were some major changes coming in 2025. And so if you can talk a little bit about that, and I will interject with, I'm sure, some questions as you give us the information.
Absolutely. So I think you hit the nail on the head. I've been assisting my clients with Medicare since 2010, and I've noticed a couple things. Seniors have an issue with two things mostly: the cost of their meds and dental benefits. Um, and again,
Why
I
is that?
because a lot of the plans, Olivia, have limited dental benefits. Um, a lot of the people who are enrolling your parents and their friends, um, they're getting enrolled by call center agents. Like I said, these people are in Timbuktu. And
Yeah.
so the way Medicare works, you are eligible for the plans that are available in your county. Okay, so John, who's calling you from Spokane, Washington, or somewhere in middle America, uh, and sells all over the country, he's hasn't taken the time to get educated about the plans, all the plans that are available in Fulton County or in
Right.
Chatham County or whatever county someone lives in. Um, and they're just slanging policies. They got a quota to meet and they just slanging policies like it's the Wild Wild West. In addition to that, those agents are not taking the time to get people qualified for government assistance that they can qualify for. So we find that there's a lot of misinformation, um, and there's a lot of people who aren't taking the time to really assist the senior population. So with that being said, there are two forms of government assistance. Okay, you have what's called and here's another thing. Another reason why everything is so confusing with Medicare is because we have at least two names for everything.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And so you talk to John and he uses this word, and you talk to me and I use this word, and it just leaves everybody confused. So, with that being said, two forms of government assistance. You have what's called extra help for Part D, also called low income subsidy. And that is how Social Security helps seniors with the cost of their medicine. So, they're looking at two things: they're looking at resources and they're looking at income.
Mm-hmm.
So for a single person, if you make under $1,850, and they are looking at gross, they're not looking at net. Once a lot of people like to give us the number after they take out the Medicare
Right. They're like,
premium.
that's the number that counts.
Yeah, but that's not the number they want. You got to throw in that 174.70. And then you have to have less than, let's say, around $18,000 in resources. Now, the numbers are a little bit different for married couples, because if you're married, you got to put down your spouse's income as well. So the numbers are a little bit higher for couples. The number for income is a little bit higher, and the number for resources is a little bit higher. The other form of government assistance is what's called Medicaid. In the
Right.
state of Georgia, you can qualify for Medicaid as long as your income is under $1,725. That'll qualify you for partial Medicaid. And with partial Medicaid, the only benefit you're going to get financially is going to be the state of Georgia is going to pay that Medicare Part B premium, which this year is $174.70. But it
Huh.
also makes you eligible for plans with lower copays and more benefits.
Okay.
Okay. And the same goes with LIS. When someone gets qualified for LIS, it's planned specifically for people with that government level of government assistance, what gives them lower copays and more benefits.
And LIS is lower income
Low,
subsidy?
low income subsidy.
Okay, okay,
Low income subsidy, also called extra help for Part D.
okay.
Now, full Medicaid starts at $1,275, also known as QMB, qualified Medicare beneficiary. At that level, the state of Georgia pays not only the Medicare Part B premium, but they also pay the deductibles, the co-insurance. Pretty much everything is zeroed out for that
Hmm.
particular Medicare beneficiary. And we just find that people have, for years, have qualified for these
And
government
didn't
assistance
know it?
programs and didn't know it. No
Oh,
one
that's
took the
horrible.
time to help them apply. They were just writing the policy based on what they had and didn't ask the questions.
So okay, so we have these three. We have the low income subsidy, then we have
Mm,
the partial Medicaid, and then we have the full Medicaid.
absolutely.
Okay, is there just like the regular Medicare that doesn't have any of the three, or are you gonna fall in one of those three?
Well, no. So if you don't qualify for government assistance, then you do have regular Medicare.
Okay.
Okay. But even with that, Olivia, they have plans for people with chronic conditions. The only three chronic conditions Medicare is concerned about is diabetes, congestive heart failure, and a cardiovascular condition.
Hmm.
But if someone had, and most of our seniors
Yes.
have
All in one of
diabetes.
those,
Yes,
one of
yeah,
those buckets.
one of the
Mhm.
buckets, but mostly diabetes. And they have plans with, again, lower copays, better benefits. And those plans are specifically tailored to manage uh, those chronic health conditions.
So if you are just on the phone
Mhm.
with someone from the call center, they may not be as equipped to help you figure out which plan is going to fit your particular needs, is what I hear you saying.
You know, yes. First
I
of
was
all,
waiting. Okay. And that makes total sense.
so
So,
let me tell you something about the call center people. A lot of
okay.
times you don't know who's calling you. You know, enrolling someone in a plan is one thing, but servicing them is something completely different. So when they deal with someone who from a call center who's you don't know how long they've been in the business, you don't know if they just got out of training, uh, you don't know if they really care.
Right.
Okay, you just don't know what you're gonna get. They got to meet a quota, and they are out to call as many people as possible and to close as many people as they can. Now, I'm in business as well, and I must remain profitable.
Well, of
However,
course, of course.
however, um, I know a lot of the people I talk to, they're someone's grandmother, they're someone's mother. And I ask myself, what would I want somebody to do for my family members? And we take just a little bit more time. Just it
Yeah.
doesn't take long to ask that income question and to have a conversation and go a little bit further. And here's the other thing: a lot of people, a lot of those call center reps, they don't even have an insurance license. So for this year specifically, I recommend everybody stay off the phone. Stay off the phone. And if you do want to talk to somebody, ask them, what's your Georgia insurance license number?
Okay, so that's a good tip. So if they're not, if when the people call, if they are not the best people to help you figure out what what the best insurance is going to be for your particular needs, obviously they should call you, and we will have all of your contact, how they can call you before we get off. But who are the people that they should be looking for?
They should be looking for someone who's local.
Okay.
Okay. Someone who has a team who can help them service their members. You just think about it. In order for someone to have a profitable Medicare business, we have to have volume.
Sure.
Okay? We don't get paid a lot per person that we enroll, so you have to have volume. And there's a commercial on TV that talks about surgeons. Do you want to have surgery by the guy who does the insurance, calls you to make sure you got everything together for the surgery, make sure you don't drink or eat anything, does the surgery, does the anesthesia? You don't want the guy who does everything, because
Right.
it can't be done well.
Right.
So they want someone local. They want someone who's been in the business for a while. They want someone who's licensed. Okay. They want somebody with a team.
Those are all really good tips. I hope y'all wrote those down. Those are what you should be looking for, the questions you should be asking when you start looking for new insurance. Now, is there an open enrollment for Medicare? Like,
So,
when is that?
yeah. Open enrollment for Medicare starts October 15th through December 7th.
Okay.
However, we can start talking about the new Medicare plans October 1st, but we cannot write an application until October 15th. But I also want to back up and say something else.
Okay.
In order to be able to assist our clients with Medicare options and education every year, we have to take a national test. We also have to take certification classes for every company that we represent. And Olivia, you know, one of the first things that they tell us, as
What
far
is that?
to be compliant, we are not supposed to be making unsolicited calls.
Ah,
So the people who are calling, they're already
interesting.
breaking Medicare guidelines.
So
But
they're already starting on the wrong foot.
they're already starting on the wrong foot, but there's no
Yes.
Medicare police. There's no such thing as Medicare police. So they keep doing it, and they're going to do it until
Somebody stops.
somebody stops them, which is why we have some of these changes for 2025.
So yes, let's talk about what are the changes that our seniors should be looking forward to for next year.
Well, I don't know if they should be looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, it may not be positive, but they should be, let's say, aware of.
Yes, yes. First of all, everybody needs to review their benefits this year. The changes have huge ramifications, and it's really hard to just say you're okay without somebody actually looking into it. So there are three things I want to make sure that I bring up.
Okay.
Most Medicare Advantage, all Medicare Advantage plans work because the insurance companies are getting a reimbursement from Medicare to accept the risk. Meaning, okay, Medicare, you're not going to get the bill anymore. Humana or United Healthcare or whatever company, you're going to get the bill. And the only reason they're willing to do that is because they get a reimbursement from Medicare. We saw a big change in the benefits from 2023 to 2024. That was because the reimbursement that the insurance companies were getting from Medicare was lower in 2024 than it was in 2023. In 2025, it's going to be lower than it was in 2024.
So that means that fewer companies are going to be willing to take that on because they're not going to feel like they were reimbursed an adequate amount.
Well, they're going to take it on because it's still a huge population. Okay. And so they're not getting out of the business, but co-pays are going up, maximum out of pockets are going up, benefits are going down.
Okay.
So you have that one thing that's putting pressure on the insurance companies. And then the biggest one probably is the reduction in the max out of pocket for medications. This year, the troop is $8,000. Next year, the max out of pocket is going to be $2,000. So that's $6,000 that insurance companies have to eat. And this is my opinion, this is not fact, but what they did was they took a problem that was affecting some people on Medicare, and the solution affects everyone. Not everyone was having a problem with their costs with their medicine, but now their solution affects everyone.
So that's good, right?
Well, you got to ask yourself the question: Who's
Where is
gonna?
that $6,000?
It is. Who gonna eat it? And so the
Right.
insurance companies pass along to the insurance companies, and they are now passing along to what's called people on Medicare. They're called Medicare beneficiaries. So again, co-pays are going up, benefits going down, formularies are changing. Just because your medication was covered last year, it don't mean it's going to be covered this year. Okay, so that is having a lot of pressure, and it's put a lot of it's causing the insurance companies to relook at a lot of things. So companies are coming out of counties that are not profitable, companies getting rid of plans. Again, everybody needs to talk with someone, not a call center rep.
So everyone between October 15th and December 15th?
December 7th.
December 7th. Okay.
Craziest thing ever.
Everybody should be looking, you should be reviewing your policy with someone, everyone that's on Medicare.
Now, here's a caveat. If you're one of the individuals whose plan is going away, you actually have a special enrollment period that extends beyond December 7th. So those people have a little bit more time. Now, here's something else that everyone needs to be aware of. Annual election period is October 15th through December 7th. But what we cannot advertise, but I can tell you about, is what's called the open enrollment period. So if someone picked a plan during annual election period and realized that they don't like it, from January 1st to March 31st, they got a one-time chance to change it.
Oh, that is very important to know.
Absolutely. And if you missed talking to someone October 15th through December 7th, you got another opportunity during the open enrollment period to make a switch.
Are there any consequences for that?
No penalties or nothing like that. As a matter of fact, if someone is being strategic, they might not want to change their plan until open enrollment. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
You mentioned it earlier. Seniors have problems with dental coverage, right? So let's say Miss Jones goes to her dentist, and the treatment plan after they do the exam and the x-rays and everything is $3,000. But Miss Jones only has $1,500 on her insurance plan. Miss Jones might be sitting there thinking about, oh my gosh, how am I going to come up with the rest of this money?
Right.
Well, if she were strategic or work with someone who knows how to be compliant, but is at the same time achieve her goals, you might let
I
that
like how
plan
you
roll
put
over.
that.
We're going to always remain compliant.
That's
Okay? But you might let that plan roll over. Depending on how much dental is going to be on there next year, you let it roll over, and that's less money she's going to have to come out of her pocket. And then when she changes the plan during open enrollment period, most likely, if she's being strategic, then she's going to get even more money. And keeping the money in her pocket, but also getting all the dental work that she needs done.
I like that.
I can't stress to you enough how important it is to have a conversation with someone, a professional who's just really interested in helping you get what you need and wants to make sure that you're happy with your plan. And it just takes a conversation. It's not a long conversation. My average appointment takes less than an hour.
So if after someone hears this
Mhm.
podcast episode, they're like, okay, I need to call Hamilton Insurance Group. How can they contact you?
So I would really appreciate it if they would call us on our phone. The office number is 770-744-1855.
Okay. And what should they have available, prepared in front of them for when they meet with you?
Very good question. To make sure the meeting is efficient and that all I's are dotted and all T's are crossed, they need a list of all of their meds.
Okay.
Okay.
So list of meds
List of meds and a list of doctors.
and list of
And
doctors.
it's preferred that when they call, that they had a correct spelling of their doctor's name.
Oh, now see, you asking for a lot now. You are
No,
asking for a lot
I
now.
mean, like I'm hooked on phonics, and like trying to figure out these doctors' names based on my client's pronunciation of the name, it can get very tricky.
I'm sure it can get interesting for
Oh
sure.
my gosh. Um, so yeah, like if they have my chart, they should be able to pull all that information off. But worst come to worst, get all the bottles and put them in a
Line them
bag
up.
and just go, whoever they use, go through it one by one. The dosage. Here's something else most people forget. There can be a difference on the formula between a tablet and a capsule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those small things really matter. But if someone has that, we can look up the formula. Formula is a fancy name for a list of drugs that plan covers.
Okay.
It's just so much more expeditious. Uh,
So what I hear you saying is when they call you, and I'm sure they will be calling you because it seems like there are changes on the horizon that everyone needs to be aware of.
mhm.
We need y'all to be prepared when y'all call him. So have your list of doctors, have your list of prescriptions. Go ahead and get your prescription bottles, have them lined up there so you can spell doctor names if you need to. Tell him the dosage, tell him whether it's a capsule or not, all of that so that he can then get you the best policy for what you need. We are getting ready to get out of here, but
Hold on, Olivia. I want to share with you two more things. Two more
okay, I
things.
was gonna say, did you have any final things that you want to make sure
Yeah,
that everyone knows? Go ahead.
going back to the decrease in the maximum out of pocket for meds, they also have something called M3P, Medicare Prescription Payment Plan.
Oh,
So the M3P allows the Medicare beneficiary to spread the cost of their meds out over 12-month period. Okay. So because the max out of pocket is going from 8,000 to 2,000, one of the things we're going to see is that more plans are going to have drug deductibles.
mhm.
Okay. And if someone's on a fixed income, which means they're working off cash flow, to have to come up with, to pay the true cost of a medication, $500, $400 at one time, that can be a no-go.
Yeah.
Okay. That could be a deal killer. So what is now in place, starting October 15th, they can call the insurance company up and say, hey, I want to be on the Medicare prescription payment plan. And it won't start until January, but it'll spread their cost out over 12 months.
That is really good to
And
know.
here's the beautiful thing about it. When they go pick up the meds from the pharmacy, they won't pay anything. The
Oh,
insurance company now is the bill collector. The
okay.
insurance company will send them a bill. Okay.
But at least it'll be spread out.
It'll be spread out, hopefully more manageable for people who are working off of a fixed income. And here's the other big change. being that I have a lot of dental partners that I do business with. If someone goes to the dentist in the middle of the year and Miss Jones doesn't have enough money on her dental plan to cover the treatment plan that the doctor recommends, we used to be able to change them in the middle of the year.
Oh,
Okay. So people with government assistance have been able to change, like in 2024, they can change once every quarter. It's going away.
well, that is not good.
So, I mean, it is so important that whether it's annual election period or open enrollment period, that you sit down with somebody. And I do most of my business Zoom or over the phone. Okay. But you got to sit down with somebody who's local, who's licensed, who's Medicare certified, and who represents more than one company. Okay. Because if somebody represents one company, they're gonna make that company smell like roses.
Right. That's
Okay.
true.
So to be more honest with you, I can't remember how many companies I represent right now because we added on so many for this annual election period. But with the ones that I have selected to represent, I'm completely unbiased. You want United Healthcare? You want to talk about humanity? You want to talk about Aetna? Let's talk about it. Not only am I going to go over the benefits and the co-pays, I'm also going to give you my 3 cents about what my experience is dealing with their customer service.
Which is
Because we all,
important when you have to call that insurance company. Are you going to be on hold for the rest of your life?
are you going to be talking to somebody with a twang in their voice? You know, you already got an insurance problem, and now you calling somebody, you trying to understand what they're saying.
That's
And a
true.
lot of these insurance companies, customer service is not on the mainland.
That's true. That is true.
Okay. So those are the three things that are really having an effect on the 2025 Medicare plans. The reduction in the max out of pocket for medications, not being able for people on government assistance, not being able to change the plan once every quarter. Now there are some people with the highest level of Medicaid who can still change in the middle of the year. Those are people with what's called FBDE, full benefit dual eligible Medicaid,
Mm,
SLMB plus level Medicaid, and QMB plus level Medicaid. And most people don't know what level they get.
yeah.
Once again,
That's
you got to
something
talk to
else they need to know.
something else. You gotta understand what you're working with, what level of assistance you have. And if you don't know that, you need to talk to someone who can ask the right questions to see if they can get you qualified for government assistance. Okay. The extra help by itself is estimated. This is Social Security. They estimate it to be worth more than $5,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Now I'm sure that number is going to change because that reduction in the max out of pocket, but still, you have cost sharing protection when it comes to your medications. I don't care what company you're with, the government says this is the most you can charge this person for their medication.
And that is important because the older you get, the more medications you wind up needing. I am going to make sure that we have all of your contact information so that our listeners can reach out. Because it sounds like this is a pivotal time to make sure that you have the right Medicare, Medicaid, whatever policy going
Mhm.
into 2025. And we want everyone to be insured and have policies that do what you need when you need it. It's nothing worse than going to the doctor, needing something, and having a policy that does not cover that, or the deductible is one that you can't afford, and trying to figure out what to do. There is literally nothing worse than that. And I'm talking from experience. So we definitely want to make sure our seniors are covered. Thank you so much. This what we like 45 minutes was just like packed full of information. So I know that our listeners are going to find value, and then I'm going to make sure that you gave your phone number, but I'm gonna make sure we have it in the show notes as well, so that anyone that wants to reach out to you will have everything they need to reach out.
Olivia, I appreciate the opportunity. Like I said, there's a lot of misinformation. And my job is just to make sure people have the information so they can make a decision. Hopefully they call me, but if they don't call me, just at least they know what they should be looking for.
Yes, definitely call someone. As always, for our listeners, thank you so much. We love to get feedback. We love to hear suggestions for other episodes, feedback on the episodes that you're listening to. You know how to contact us. You can always contact us through social media. And until next time, we will see you soon.
Bye for now.